Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Pickin N Puttin. Liberty Bill and Dr. Z here. We haven't been with you for a while, so we're back because we just felt like doing another podcast about everything that's going on. And hey, Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm having a better week than Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods, certainly.
Hey, you got any shout outs you want to do, man?
I actually want to do a shout out. This will be a little preview for our next episode. Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jokic, the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Two guys, Jimmy Butler started in junior college down in Texas and then went to Marquette, started on the bench. Jokic was over in Serbia, was a second round pick. Most of these superstars in the NBA, when they're 17 years old, what they're going to be. These two guys just put in the work and continue to put in the work. And it's truly amazing watching what they're doing on the center stage, specifically the Joker. And we'll be getting more into where the NBA and other leagues stand with super teams in a future episode, but a more pressing issue snuck up on us.
Yeah, the Joker. I had him in my shout outs, but I wanted to wear these glasses because I wanted to feel like, I was a little bit incognito with all this crap going on. But that being said, that's interesting. I said I had Nicole Jokic as my shout out too. And I said, stud. Right now, it's funny. He is the greatest basketball player in the world right now at this moment in time. But I had two other ones. The Oklahoma women's softball team.
Oh,
and they're against Florida State, and that's close to my heart because Christopher, my youngest son, went to Florida State. But Florida State has great baseball and softball, but I don't think anybody's going to overcome Oklahoma State. And my last shout is Jason Sudeikis. I want to tell you,
Lasso, Sudeikis, yeah.
Sudeikis. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, folks, and you're a sports person, for all we're going to talk about today, at the height of positivity is Ted Lasso, and everything else we'll go into. But I just think I just think that was one of the best written things. Going back to MASH, I don't know what, but that's a great show, and it made everybody a superstar. It made everybody feel happy. That's just me. I love
it. And the timing was perfect. So I haven't watched that. My wife has watched the show. I'm too much of a hipster to hop in on the mainstream show everybody's watching, but I will say the timing of it during the stay at home is a really important feel-good story for that time. I've seen bits of episodes, and it looks like a great show.
You have to go back and start at episode 1 and watch it, because what makes it awesome is here's this guy who's a college, Division II football coach, and he gets hired to be a Premier League soccer coach. But he's just this Midwest, salt-of-the-earth guy, and he doesn't let anything bother him. I mean, it's just, and I will tell you what, if you want to look up one scene, go watch the dart scene in season 1. It's the most awesome thing ever. It's him. It's just a great scene. It's called he's throwing darts. I'm just telling you, go look it up. As soon as you get off with me, you go look it up. Everybody look up the dart scene. Okay. So I got to start off today. I got a trivial question, and I'm fading in and out here. I know, because I'm wearing green, whatever. For all you folks on YouTube, I'm just a ghost.
Yeah, you're not on drugs, people.
I'm not on drugs.
You're not seeing things.
So here's our trivia question, and you can't answer it now, and I'm just putting it out there. The top 5 largest sports streaks that you can think of. There are more than 5. There are a zillion of them, and we can think of, right off the top of the hat, you can come up to Joey D and a lot of others, but that's my thing. What did I want to say? Oh, so we always start off talking about a couple of songs. So Bill and I had the idea, well, this is awesome. So based on this week's happenings in the world of golf, we came up with, we should discuss the song Lyin Eyes. Well, that's a great song in 1975. It's written by Henley and Glenn Fry of what's fame? Eagles fame. And it got to #2 on the Billboard charts. And here's the deal with this song. Here's what Lyin Eyes was about. These guys' favorite bar in LA was a place called Dan Tana's. And they would go in there and they would see all these young women coming in with these older men. And they'd say, she can't hide those lion eyes.
Oh, that's great.
And they wrote the whole song in 2 days. And I thought that was awesome. But then I thought of another song similar to what we've just talked about when I think of a young North Ireland guy from the PGA Tour. And it was Backstabbers. It was written in 1972 and sung by the OJs. And it got to #1 on the soul charts. And it warns of men who smile at your face and want to steal your wife or your girlfriend. And it's based on another great song called Undisputed Truth by Smiling. The group was Undisputed Truth, and they called Smiling Faces Sometimes. You wouldn't know any of these songs, Bill, but I know them.
I know the OJs for Love Train.
Yeah, Love Train. Well, and it was a soundtrack in 1977 for Mr. Goodbar. That's all I got on that.
I know, good candy bar.
Yeah, so yeah, a good candy bar. So let's see here. What else did I want to throw out to you before we started going into all this stuff? Oh, I got some. Hey, at the end, when we're done, I got 5 great movie quotes. But remember, I got to go back and give you the trivia question answer. So, okay. So take off, Bill. What do you want to talk about, baby?
So the first thing I want to say regarding this whole Saudi Arabian takeover of golf is that before I get into my rant and all that stuff here, I truly don't believe golf is going to lose a single viewer. I don't believe golf is going to lose a single sponsor. I don't believe that golf is going to lose a single tournament attendee. No. This was they're going to take the media hit right now, but is anything really going to change? I don't think so. And in the near term, for the fans out there, I know you especially that watches golf every week, you don't have to flip back and forth anymore. So that's a win. Right. And I do think it's different than other hostile takeovers. And let's be honest, that's what this is. This is a hostile takeover.
$2 billion.
In corporate America, what you see with a hostile takeover is a lot of layoffs and a lot of big changes to squeeze pennies. The Saudis aren't doing this to make money. They're doing this to change their reputation across the world and to try to get tourism in their country. So from a fan sitting on their couch perspective, I think this might actually be a good thing if you just want to consume golf. They're going to spice it up and make it more fun, make it more lucrative for the players. So all that being said, Jay Monahan, I'm not using hyperbole. I don't understand how he hasn't resigned already. Oh. Like there's multiple levels here. Like let's start with the incompetence. Wasn't it 3 years ago when the Super League was floated originally?
Well, this goes way back even farther than that, because for all the talk about this, you can go back, if you want to go back and look 20 years, and they crucified him, but they've crucified him from the 90s. Was Greg Norman had this, he wanted a world tour in the 90s. Yep. And the idea of a world tour made sense. It's no different than any other major world sport. And so that was his vision, and everybody's just shot him down. Oh, we got the European tour, we got the Japanese tour, and we don't need a world tour. Well, it slowly evolved into that by the process of, look where the greatest European golfers, where do they play now? Yep. They play on the PGA Tour.
Yep. And it always has been the world tour. Yep. It just wasn't showcased and aligned with the world. And Jay Monahan should have seen this coming. 3 years ago, he should have got the deal done. He didn't. He failed. And then they tried to get another deal done and they started Live. And Jay Monahan, if you folks are familiar with the term SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunities, threat, it's a standard analysis. I'm sure they did. How he failed to realize where this was going is just incompetent. Without getting into the hypocrisy, for that son of a gun to get on CBS last year and say, quote, it probably is an issue for players that chose to go and take that money. And I think you'd have to be living under a rock to not know there are significant implications. And I would ask any player that has left or any player that would consider leaving, have you ever had to apologize for being a member of the PGA Tour? He didn't mean that. He doesn't care about 9/11. He doesn't care about the 9/11 victims. He was using that as a negotiating ploy. And it's become very clear to me that the PGA was on a path through this litigation with Liv to open up their books. And they did not want to do that. And that's why we have this merger today.
Well, and as an aside, from the player's perspective, the guys who took the money, and there's a local kid that took the money, and
who has the best perspective on it, by the way. He just said, I took the money.
Said, I took
what would you do? You and I would both take the money.
That's HV3. And basically the deal was they came along and I can't remember if it was Bubba or it might have been Koepka. One of these guys said, well, let me ask you that. I think it was Dustin, who usually doesn't come off as the guy that you would say was going to attack the press. But what he said was, okay, let me ask you, questioner, if they offered you twice the money that you're making now, right now in this press tent, and you work half the days for a new job, are you going to take it? And the answer was, yeah. And that's what they did. And these guys, they're talking about their family. They're in their prime. They're like you. They're in their prime earning years. And that part, I said, if somebody wants to give them the money, I mean, go for it. I had no problem with that. None. So I don't know how it'll all pan out now. Here's the thing I wanted to say, though, Bill. One of the things that they did do with this, which I think is interesting, and I bought into this, and people go, nah. What they did do with Liv is they said, and this is not regarding the politics, just the model.
Yeah.
They said, okay, we're going to appeal to under 30s. We're going to play music. We're going to sell merchandise. We're going to have the scoring on the left side of the screen like F1 racing. It's real time. Everybody's on the course at the same time, so it takes 4.5 hours. Everybody sees it. You can see everybody shooting, whatever. And I think it was brilliant because outside the continental United States, in Asia, India, New Zealand, Australasia, Japan, they love it. That model.
The pace
of play. I mean, here's what I would say. How is the pace? Let me ask you this. What is the supreme best playoff pro sports event?
March Madness?
Well, I said pro. Well, for me, it's the NHL.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
For the casual fan who doesn't watch squat, I can turn on hockey this month and I go, this is great. And 2.5 hours, it's over.
Yep.
There's no, I don't even know any of the names, any of the players, but it's so fast. It's just exciting. It's fun. And the NHL, I can't believe they haven't taken their product to of course, it's a cold weather product, but now think about it. They got Las Vegas against Florida. So there you go. But okay, I got off on a tangent there, but I was just saying that idea, that product, I don't know that you can have team golf on the PGA Tour, but you can have that as a niche.
Yes. And I've always said that would be more fun, especially with gambling and stuff. It's just another element. Just at a lower tier tournament. And again, I really think for the fan watching at home, this is all good. But so obviously Jay Monahan handled this situation terribly. Roy
Oh,
McIlroy had to every week had to take arrows from the press representing the tour. He better be made whole. Someone like Will Zalatoris, who
oh.
shot down money and got injured, he better be made whole if I'm those guys. But setting all that aside, the precedent does. So first of all, I do want to say, like, we can all get on our moral high ground, but the reality is I have an iPhone. Okay, I wear Nike stuff. I'm not a huge fan of how Amazon treats their employees or the environment, but I ordered something today and it got delivered to my house at 4 p.m. So, like, none of us are perfectly altruistic human beings, okay? But this is a different level, right? This is Saudi Arabia, who funded 9/11, who doesn't allow you to be a homosexual in their country,
Oh
now
yeah.
runs our professional golf league. If you don't think there's at least one gay guy on the PGA Tour who
Oh,
the owner says is not allowed to live, you're kidding yourself. If you don't think they know, like, that is a big, and my concern is the precedent, because golf is going to get all the viewers. Nothing's really going to happen. So then what happens when Major League Baseball needs to sell a team? What happens when the NFL needs to sell a team? What happens when the NBA needs to sell a team? Is Saudi Arabia just going to buy all these teams? That's my
well,
concern.
they may. They're involved a lot more. Here there are 2 points I want to make. One is the writing has been on the wall for the PGA Tour. If you look behind the scenes with connections I have in terms of sponsors and ROI on their investment, what is the return on the dollar of the Wells Fargo in Charlotte, North Carolina? At this point, it's a world recognized bank. Why do they need to give money to a golf tournament, to the PGA Tour? Yeah, they say it goes to charity, but I understand that, and that's great. And the PGA Tour has always been the biggest contributor to charitable donations. But as a company, as a private company, to invest my advertising dollars, they're going away.
Something
And
Monahan clearly should have anticipated and planned for, by the way.
for sure. And the other part of that is that with streaming, that's all changing.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
don't even know where ESPN is 3 years from now. It was the juggernaut for the last 30 years. Disney owns it, but my God, what happens to that now?
Well, they are, quick aside, they're launching an over-the-top app that's going to kill cable. But keep going.
well, no, I agree with that. I forgot. I had a second point about the sponsorship, but that being said, I think that's going to change even within the next 24 months. You take, for example, you take an event like last weekend, the Memorial, huge event, wonderful venue. And as long as Jack and Barbara Nicholas are sitting there on the 18th green, it's great. But as soon as they're no longer there, the Byron Nelson is not what it was.
I see what you're saying.
The Colonial is not what it was.
And no one's there to take the reins. And they needed to get money somewhere. And they found some really bad dudes to give them the money. But yeah, they needed to. I mean, I still think Jay Monahan's job, which he's highly compensated for, is to figure this out without surrendering to terrorists.
All these, yeah, but all these guys. I mean, these and let's take another tact on that. So that was the whole point that drove all this. Phil came up and said, the PGA Tour generates and makes a lot of money. Where the hell is it? We're the players. We're supposed to own the tour. The commissioner of professional golf, Jay Monahan, I don't know what he makes, but let's say $20 to $30 million plus private travel, whatever. And his argument was, so show me the money, where is the Jerry Maguire stuff? So, I mean, that kind of drove it. So to some extent,
that's why we're talking. I am convinced. I forgot that Phil was pushing to open the books all along, but PGA is a tax exempt entity, and they're going to try to still be a tax exempt entity under this new
they'll
structure.
lose that.
They'll lose that. But that's why we're talking right now is they didn't want to open up their books because I think there's some shady stuff in there.
Well,
I
hey,
really do.
hey, Billy, when we talk about that, they've allowed all pro sports has allowed gambling into the thing. How does baseball stay out of this as a what do you call it? What am I trying to say? Baseball can't is the same entity.
No, it's not anymore. So it was until 2007. The NFL was a tax exempt entity till 2015, and the NHL is not, and the NBA never was.
Well,
The NBA is
I don't mean tax exempt. I mean what am I trying? What's the word I'm trying to say? They can't be uh, kind of like a non-compete clause.
oh, they're allowed to be a monopoly.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say. So
that stuff's got to go too.
so when people are coming out and saying, well, we're going to change this because this is going to be, hey, if you're going to go after that, then you're going to have to come back and address baseball, which has had that for 100 years. So I don't.
The antitrust, yeah.
Yeah, antitrust. Thank you. So I'm going, well, I don't know. That's all crazy, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. I think it will. Tiger and Rory were already trying to come out with a team concept.
Those guys are such professionals, and I think we've learned a lot about them as humans throughout this process. They're going to be fine. They're going to figure it out.
Oh, here's that. My shout out there is I like Rory, and I feel totally awful that they put him out there as the spokesperson and then just basically took him and went, I mean, come on, guys, you put him out there. If I were him, I don't care what comes to pass. It's not money. He doesn't need money. But I would just go, guys, that was total BS. You put me out there as a spokesperson of the PGA Tour, and then you came around and he didn't have any idea this was going down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I were him, what I would do is get the tax exempt thing out of here, form a union, and be the head of the union and get a collective bargaining agreement.
Well, that's probably what they're going to do.
Because that would have avoided all this too, by the way. But that is where we are, and that's what I would suggest him to do. And my challenge to other sports leagues, other businesses, let's be more creative. Let's find a way to get some money without succumbing to the people that funded 9/11. And already a Bryson DeChambeau saying it was 20 years ago. Let's move on. Get out of here.
Yeah, right? Well, I agree with you there. And the deal is, I read a bunch of stuff today, and it's I'm older than you, obviously, and the world it's all about this. And it doesn't matter. All pro sports is about money. The one that bothers me now going forward is gambling, because you think about the 1919 Black Sox. Well, that's going to come around again. And it
already is. You're at the college level, I think.
Well, yeah, but I don't.
Baseball. These guys make so much money, and frankly, the one good thing about legalizing the gambling is they have so many analytics around it. I do believe they would catch a player or referee messing around in one of the big professional leagues. But college baseball, where we've already seen some issues like swimming, diving, gymnastics, or whatever, I don't even know. That's the stuff. Oh boy. But I can assure you, when North Carolina mobile betting comes in January 24, I'm doing one more college football season where I'm tracking my bets, what they would be, and I'll have my system perfected. Come 2024 college football season, I'll be placing my bets.
So what do you think? What do you think about the future of? I mean, it's hard to. I mean, neither one of us is. We're doing this, but neither one of us is great in what am I kind of trying to say? In terms of major networks and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what do you think? I know for a fact, I was a DirecTV guy for 30 years. I had DirecTV before anybody knew what DirecTV. In fact, I had a gold card. I'd call in for some problem. They'd say, "Oh, you've been with us since 1988." Shit. What, excuse my language. What can we do for you? So now within the last 6 months, I cut the cord. I got internet, I'm streaming, and it's wonderful. And the only problem is if my internet goes out, then I haven't got anything. You know, I don't have I used to have my TV because my internet go out, I have cable. So what do you think the future of that is? Is just going to be like, for example, are you just going to pay, okay, I want to watch the Cleveland Browns and I buy that. I want to watch the Chicago Cubs. I just don't feel like it's going to be the packages anymore. I'm not sure how what do you think?
No, it's kind of funny. In my opinion, one of the least reported, least discussed significant stories in sports media right now is the bankruptcy of Diamond Brands, which owns Bally Television.
Oh, I did.
So
Yeah.
your Diamondbacks, your Atlanta Braves here in the Southeast, a lot of these regional television networks, specifically around baseball, um, as people have left cable, they're paying a ton of money to Major League Baseball, so they declared bankruptcy. And it's gotten to the point where Major League Baseball has actually taken over the San Diego Padres broadcasts.
Oh, I saw that.
So that's my answer to your question is I think we're heading towards that. A Major League Baseball and apparently MLB tried to buy these networks but came up short of the bid, and I'm sure they're quite thankful that they didn't do that because what they're going to end up doing now, I think, is inheriting a lot of these networks into MLB, and I think that's where you'll see it with the NBA, and then the NFL will be the last thing on TV.
Well,
Period.
I mean, there's got to be a breaking point for these finances. I heard today. So Messi's going to Miami. Okay. Do you know what his contract offer was from Saudi Arabia?
Um, I don't know, but I know that he already gets paid a ton of money to be a spokesperson for them trying to get the World Cup.
Okay. His projected salary that they offered him was $1.56 billion for 3 years. And he took Miami because he gets ownership and there's probably a lot of other money there. But that's just craziness.
Yep.
So at some point, it's like, well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a 2000 internet bubble. There's a sports salary bubble that's coming. And I've just put that out there for you people. The sports bubble, I don't know if it's in 25, 24, 27. There'll be a bubble, and these guys getting paid $70 million to dribble a basketball and not ever win a championship. That I don't have a problem with LeBron or Steph Curry. But if Rick Zollinger is getting paid $20 million to sit on the bench, that's just bogus. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. The professional sports, they can't grow anymore, right? It's like a Coors Light or a Budweiser. It's just a mature brand, so they'll go down. But I think you'll see sports like pickleball, like the WNBA, like lacrosse. Those ones will grow.
Yeah, how about the cornhole tournaments? I think cornhole is going to be. I'm going cornhole. I'm going to play cornhole. I'm going to be cornholio. You know, like
tour.
This is cornhole. I am cornholio.
I think you should pull a Phil and you should start a South Charlotte seniors cornholio league.
Have you ever seen cornholio? He's awesome.
Beavis?
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead. There you go, baby. I like cornholio. Okay, so I'm gonna move out of that. I got 5 pertinent movie quotes to this conversation. I want you to hear these because you're gonna like them. So these are, and they totally relate. Number 1, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. That's Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind. Clark Gable. Here's another one. Go ahead and make my day.
Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry.
Harry Callahan. Yeah, baby. So let's see. What was my and my last one was Show Me the Money. Cuba Gooding Jr. Jerry Maguire. Yeah, is that not a good one?
Age as well, too, by the way.
Yeah, man. That is, Show Me the Money. It especially works good now. Yep. So okay. So I'm going to go back to the top 5 largest sports streaks. Do you want to take a shot? You're not going to know any of these.
No, I mean I got one. I would say the Cal Ripken Jr. What was it? 2,362.
Well, that's number 1. Yeah. 2632.
Oh, 26. Okay, I was close.
Yeah, that was good. And then number 2 is Edwin Moses won 102 consecutive 400-meter hurdle relays. Then number 3. Now these, there are other. Once you get beyond these, or Wayne Gretzky had 51 games straight with a point.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And then you got Joe DiMaggio, 56 straight games. I always feel like somebody might get to that, but it's like pitching stuff. They're not.
Nobody will get Gretzky's because the goalies are so much better than they used to be. And then DiMaggio, the pitchers are so good and the batters walk. Yeah, I don't think those will ever get broken. Well, and Cal Ripken's will never get broken. That's insane.
No.
You're actually hurting your team at that point. There had to have been a day where he shouldn't have been out there.
Well, here's another one you'll never get. Byron Nelson in I think it was 46, but he won 11 consecutive PGA tournaments. Not going to happen. If you're not Tiger Woods, ain't happening. And in fact, he won like his 8th or 9th tournament at Hope Valley Country Club in Durham, North Carolina, which was where your mother-in-law grew up. So a great course. It's Donald Ross course. And then here's a couple other ones I just wanted you. These are fun, and you'll like these. So Tiger had made 142 straight cuts. That shit. Excuse me. That won't go. Cy Young, the pitcher, had 24 straight innings pitched with no hits. Think about that. 24 innings. So that's basically he pitched 3 straight games with nobody hit, And then Michael Williams made 97 straight free throws in the NBA. So I going, okay, that's just crazy. So,
I mean, that 11 consecutive wins, that one, having 11 wins in a career.
Yeah, that's just crazy. Well, we had fun talking about this stuff today, folks. I don't know if we solved anything. I think the city of Miami's on fire because they got Lionel Messi coming. They got the Panthers playing in the NHL playoffs. They got the Heat. And my God, just let me throw this out. Miami, there are 2 or 3, but Miami and San Antonio in the NBA, they in Boston, I guess.
No, don't put that. They get superstar.
Well, but it means something to run a franchise a certain way. I mean, the fact that Spoelstra is still there 15 years later, and the NBA coach in San Antonio still there. Yeah, and same Seattle in football and Pittsburgh in football. It does work if you get an owner that allows the people to do their job and gets good people. Kansas City, give them credit, and that's all. I'm living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm just praying that I think the owners finally figure it out. But it's just like the guy Rivera that's in Washington that used to be in Charlotte. He's just a good man, good coach, and I think they're hanging it now. They're changing ownership, so that's another thing altogether. Anyways, any last thoughts, Billy? before we go?
Yeah, I'm not, we'll be talking about Kansas City. Are they a super team when we get into our next topic around super teams? And my theory is it's kind of the death of that era. And then I would mention on the Spurs, I mean, they got lucky. They're going to get that first pick and get Victor Wembanyama, who, we had Michael, then a little dead period, and then LeBron, and everyone's wondering who's next. And it might be Victor Wembanyama.
Well, and the thing that's makes me think there is two things is he's French, and who played in San Antonio that was French, and he's still involved. They have a mindset there. I think you're going to see them be the next. They'll come up and be. I hate to see Golden State kind of folding their tent, but I think their time has come and gone. I just think it has.
But more to come on that topic with the next super team discussion.
Yeah, we're gonna have a super team discussion next time. But Pickin N Puttin here. Billy, it was fun. Oh, by the way, so behind me I had that's the 17th green at TPC Sawgrass. I put that in and just to show you, just go, Mr. Fincham, how you doing? But that's just saying I'm wearing my American thing, Quail Hollow. I'm up for the Ryder Cup. That part I'm really excited about. That maybe not this year, but the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup, let all that be what it is. I mean, John Rahm is a perfect spokesperson. He said, I want the best players. I don't care about what league they're playing in. I think he was right on that. So we'll see. I love you, Billy. We'll see you next time, folks. Come back. Glad you were here. Love
you
you
too. Mean it. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.